If you've ever talked to a Tesla enthusiast, you've probably heard this before. When it comes to cars, the future, of course, is electric. But new data show a growing number of Canadians are embracing this idea. There were more than 18,000 electric cars sold across Canada last year, up 68% from 2016. That's a new record. There were nearly 48,000 electric vehicles on Canada's roads last year, up from 29,000 the year before. Ontario wrestled the title from Quebec for most electric car sales in 2017. Nearly 7,500 in Ontario, more than 7,100 in Quebec. Quebec still had the highest percentage of electric vehicles sold, at more than 2% of all auto sales. British Columbia was second at just under 2%. Ontario was third at around 1.5%. And speaking of cars of the future, automakers may soon be able to profit from collecting and selling customer data, your data. One company that's helping them achieve this is Telenav. It's developing in-car advertising software. Now, what does all this mean for the future of the industry and consumer privacy, consumer security? Well, Joe McCabe is president and CEO of Auto Forecast Solutions. Nice to see you. Dropping in the studio. Usually you're down the line. One of the things that's interesting about this, that if the car companies are getting all of this information about us, they're bound to want to be able to sell it. Do you think consumers are going to be comfortable with that trade between the convenience of all of this, navigational, whatever it may be, and the selling point of I'm giving you my data to sell?
Yeah, it's a good point. My grandfather always told me there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? And we are in a society where that's happening. Free internet, free Facebook, free social media, yet they're public companies that have shareholder value to attend to. So nothing's really free. And we're sort of used to the Alexas of the world. They're going to be tracking us from our marketing perspective, from our safety perspective. But when it comes to Ford and GM, Chrysler, and all the VMs that are going to be sharing the data, it's another revenue stream. They have to pay for autonomy.
When was the last time car companies had a new revenue stream?
And that's the point, right? You have new players in the industry, like a Tesla in the world, that's coming in and saying, we're starting to reinvent this space. You park your car at home. It does a update over the air. And you're used to it. They know where you live and where your car is. So there's this constant connectivity to the world as we speak.
And I'm a neophyte on this, but I can imagine gas stations would love to get information about you're almost out of gas and you're approaching them. They could give you a discount offer price. Like, how dynamic do you think that relationship between an advertiser and me as a driver is going to become? If they have all that information, it's valuable.
Exactly. So I look at everything as a pro and a con, right? The pro is, hey, look at that, I'm out of gas. Someone's giving me a reward by benefiting me. I'm getting a nickel off. Or con, I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm out of gas. This gas station says, I'm going to gouge you now because I have surge pricing because now I know you're in a position where you need something. You're more transparent. So what we really think the approach needs to be is the manufacturers need to be transparent with their customers, right? They have to say, look, we're coming off a world where we have diesel issues, airbag issues, and the consumer's a little tainted with this idea of a big brother approach. So we're looking for more of a symbiotic approach, asking the consumer, look, what do you want to get? What value? Yes, we're going to sell it. We're going to be transparent, but what value do you see? Do you want to know a nickel off of your sandwich? Do you want to know your car's in a ditch? There are certain things, and working with it, like a crowdsourcing thing, like a Waze, like a mapping software, where people actually say where they're going to be and help each other in that process.
Well, the CEO of Ford was at the car show across the street talking about the fact that, when somebody steals your car, do you want us to be able to know where he took it or she took it? So, there's a trade-off to that as well. One of the things I wonder when I look at this is, are they going to finally hand off the technology of this to companies that are good at it? Or are the car companies going to continue to try to make a user interface that I hate the user interface in my car. I would love it if it was my little Amazon Alexa. That's just a lot better at that.
Yeah, I think they're going to hand it off, but only if they can monetize it for themselves. There's no altruism here. There's got to be a money play as well.
What is the biggest risk for them going forward? Is it that relationship with consumers and having some transparency? Is that?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the issue. The consumer's going to immediately think of a big brother approach, and they shouldn't. They think it should more of a, how is this going to affect my life going forward? How am I using it now? The pro is, it knows where I am. The con is, someone takes a sinister way and says, I know you're not home now, and I'm going to sell that data. Now I know how I can go steal your things. So there's always going to be this two sides of every story, but as long as they come out and work with the consumer, I think they're going to be a good play on this.
There is, though, it's interesting to look at the car industry and think, wow, they found a new revenue stream for the first time, I think, in my lifetime. I mean, that same sort of monetary relationship between a car owner and a car dealer has been essentially the same for a really long time. This is game-changing.
It is game-changing.
Yes. All right, we're going to have to leave there. Great to see you. Thanks for doing
this. You too, Pierre. Thank you.
Joe McCabe, President, CEO, Auto Forecast Solutions.